Youth Parliament is a platform offered to youngsters where they are given a mock parliament setup and exposure to the working of the parliament. Youth Parliament is a staged episode of regular parliamentary procedure that takes place in the country. The main objectives of Youth Parliament are to make the students understand the parliamentary procedure and to develop in students an insight into the working of the parliament. The roles of the officials of parliament are assumed by the students of Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya Mandya, Karnataka. It is a proud moment for the principal, staff and students of JNV Mandya as we have got a golden opportunity to participate in the National Youth Parliament competition organized by the Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs, Government of India in the academic year 2022-23. So, now let's watch the proceedings of the Youth Parliament.
Honorable members, Honorable the Speaker, all rise.
Honorable members, a very good morning to all of you. I welcome you all to the 24th National Youth Parliament session and I hope this session will be a fruitful one. We begin our today's session with the oath or affirmation of our newly elected members. Secretary General, please.
Ms. Deepthi Purushottama, who stand elected from Chamarajnagara constituency of Karnataka state, will now take an oath or an affirmation. Ms. Deepthi Purushottama, please. Ms. Deepthi Purushottama, would you like to take an oath or an affirmation? Ma'am, in which language would you like to take an oath?
English, please. I, Deepthi Purushottama, having been elected as a member of Lower House of the Youth Parliament, do hereby swear in the name of God that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of India as by law established, and that I will uphold the sovereignty and integrity of my country, and that I faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter.
Mr. Akshit Burman, who stand elected from Haridwar constituency of Uttarakhand state, will now take an oath or an affirmation. Mr. Akshit Burman, please. Mr. Akshit Burman, would you like to take an oath or an affirmation?
Oath, please.
Sir, in which language would you like to take an oath?
Hindi, please. मैं अक्षित बर्मन जो युवा संसद की लोकसभा का सदस्य निर्वाचित हुआ हूं, मैं ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगा, देश में प्रभुसत्ता और एकता बनाए रखूंगा तथा जिस पद को मैं ग्रहण करने वाला हूं उसके कर्तव्यों का श्रद्धापूर्वक निर्वहन करूंगा।
Honorable members, I refer with the profound sorrow to the passing away of Miss Lata Mangeshkar, the legendary playback singer and a former member of the Upper House on 6 February 2022 at the age of 92 years. Born in the family of musicians in September 1929 at Indore in Madhya Pradesh. Lataji took to singing at a very young age after being introduced to music by her father. Since then, there was no looking back, and the chain of events then began back, culminated with her acquiring a status of legend in the world of music. Fondly known as the Nightingale and Melody Queen, Lataji has recorded over more than 25,000 songs in her career spanning more than 7 decades. Her singing prowess has been as diverse of her country as she recorded songs in over more than 36 Indian languages and a few foreign languages too. Lataji had a special quality and intricate ability to connect herself with a song she used to sing at a deeper level, which led to the creation of the masterpieces which led one and all mesmerized across the globe.
I would like to express my heartfelt condolence to the passing away of Miss Lata Mangeshkar. Lataji was the founder of Lata Mangeshkar Medical Foundation, a public charitable trust which contributes towards the medical expenses of needy patients irrespective of caste, creed and religion. She also started Master Dinanath Mangeshkar Smriti Prantishantan, which provides assistance welfare to the senior citizens and students. And Lataji was also recipient of several awards and recognitions including Padma Bhushan in 1969, Dada Saheb Phalke in 1989 and Padma Vibhushan in 1999, also Bharat Ratna in 2001. And she was also a 3-time National Film Award winner, Legion of the Honor, the highest reward of French Republic. And it hurts more than anything to say that we don't have our Lata Mangeshkar anymore.
I associate myself with the tributes paid by you and the leader of the house. Lataji's success in the field of music exemplifies her tenacity and sheer willpower to carve her own position and excel in it. Her rise to fame elucidates a grit, determination, hard work, and passion that serve as a benchmark for others, especially women, to emulate and commemorate. Lataji served as a member of Upper House from November 1999 to November 2005. In the passing away of Miss Lata Mangeshkar, the country has lost a legendary playback singer, a compassionate human being, and a towering personality in the world of Indian music and film industry. Her passing away indeed marks end on an era and has created an irreplaceable void in the world of music.
We deeply mourn to the passing away of Miss Lata Mangeshkar, and I request all the members to rise in their place and pay tribute to the departed soul. Secretary General to convey the message of condolences to the bereaved family.
Yes, madam.
Prime Minister to introduce the new ministers.
Honorable Chair, I have pleasure in introducing you and through you to the House. My colleagues, the newly elected ministers are Kumari Charanjit, Honorable Minister of Mineral and Resources, and Mr. Dayanand, Honorable Minister of Industries and Commerce. Honorable Madam, I hope with the induction of these two new ministers, the government will function more effectively. Thank you.
And now we begin with our question hour. Question number 101, Ms. Bhanushri.
Speaker, will the Minister of Education be pleased to state the status of implementation of NEP? Whether the new syllabus has been prepared at university level as well as at school level? And if so, the details thereof, and the way in which the new syllabus is different from the previous one. Thank you.
Honorable Minister of Education.
Honorable Speaker, education being a subject in the concurrent list of the Constitution, Centre and states are equally responsible for providing quality education to all. The implementation of the National Education Policy requires multiple initiatives and actions which would have to be taken by different bodies in a synchronized and systematic manner. The policy provides different timelines as well as principles and methodology for its implementation. The NEP also provides for careful planning, joint monitoring, and collaborative implementation by Centre and states for execution of this policy. Accordingly, the Ministry of Education and several other ministries or departments, state or UT governments, and many other implementing agencies under their purview have started taking initiatives towards implementation of NEP 2020. For higher education, the NEP envisions that curriculum and pedagogy will be designed by institutions and motivated faculty to ensure a stimulating and engaging learning experience for all the students. Accordingly, the University Grants Commission has developed a draft curriculum and credit framework for undergraduate program. The NEP further envisions the formulation of a new and comprehensive national curricular framework for school education 2020 to 2021. Accordingly, a national steering committee for the development of national curricular framework has been formed by the ministry. Thank you.
Any supplementary questions? Ms. Kavya?
It was mentioned that NEP 2020 emphasized on ensuring universal access to school education. How does this government propose to ensure early childhood care and education with a new curricular and pedagogical structure? Thank you.
Honorable Minister of Education.
Honorable Speaker, with emphasis on early childhood care and education, the 10+2 structure of school curricula is to be replaced by a 5+3+3+4 curricula structure corresponding to the ages 3 to 8, 8 to 11, 11 to 14, and 14 to 18 years respectively. This will bring the age group 3 to 6 under school curricula, as it is a crucial stage for development of a child. Thank you.
Mr. Kishan S. Gowda.
Honorable Speaker, it was mentioned that the NEP 2020 envisages major reforms in education. Will there be any major changes regarding board exams for class 10 and 12? Thank you.
Honorable Minister of Education.
Honorable Speaker, NEP envisages a shift from summative assessment to regular and formative assessment, which is more competency based and promotes testing higher order skills like critical thinking and conceptual clarity. The board exams for classes 10th and 12th will be continued but redesigned with holistic development as the major aim. Thank you.
Mr. Kushal Sagar.
Honorable Speaker, has the government made any assessment regarding the implementation of NEP? Thank you.
Honorable Minister of Education.
Honorable Speaker, many government and non-government surveys have been conducted to assess how effectively the school system is working in the country based on student learning. A national achievement survey was undertaken by the NCERT, which was ably supported by the Union Ministry of Education. One of the fundamental principles of NEP 2020 is to achieve
foundational literacy and numeracy by all students by grade 3, which the government is committed to achieve by 2025. To achieve this vision of NEP 2020 under the Atmanirbhar Bharat program, a national initiative for proficiency in reading with understanding and numeracy, that is Nipun Bharat, will soon be launched. Thank you.
No more supplementary questions. Question number 102, Mr. Bhagat.
Honorable Speaker, will the Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports be pleased to state whether the government has introduced any scheme for giving special awards to medal winners at international sports and their coaches? If so, the details thereof, along with the medal given in 3 years and the current year. And also, whether the introducing of the scheme has boosted Indian sports. If so, the details thereof. Thank you.
Honorable Minister of Sports and Youth Affairs.
Honorable Speaker, Government is implementing the scheme of cash awards to medal winners in international sporting events and their coaches. The details of the scheme during the last 3 years and the current year are as follows. In the year 2019-20, cash award was given to 599 medal winners in international sports and their coaches. In 2020-21, 391 sports persons. 2020-21.
Can you please provide? You are not asked to speak now.
2020-21, 478 sports persons. 2022-23, as on 27/7/2022, 176 sports persons received cash awards. This scheme has given a boost to Indian sports as reflected in the best ever medal tally of India at Tokyo Olympics 2020 and the recent performance and the medals won by the Indian athletes in various international sporting events. Thank you.
Any supplementary questions? Ms. Sanvi Gowda.
Honorable Speaker, the government has failed to support the sports persons after their retirement from active sports. Will the Minister of Sports state whether the government has any plans to provide assistance to these sports persons? And if so, the details thereby and the reasons therefore. Thank you.
Honorable Minister of Sports and Youth Affairs.
Honorable Speaker, Government provides support to sports persons after their retirement from active sports through the scheme of pension to meritorious sports persons with the objective of providing an assured monthly income through annuity for outstanding sports persons. Under the existing scheme, monthly pension ranging from Rs 12,000 to Rs 20,000 is provided to ex-sports persons. Thank you.
Ms. Chetana.
Honorable Speaker, the lack of support from the government has forced many youths not to select sports as their career. Will the Minister of Sports and Youth Affairs state the corrective steps taken by the government in this regard? Thank you.
Honorable Minister of Sports and Youth Affairs.
Honorable Speaker, Government is encouraging youth to select sport as a career by providing support through various schemes as under the Khelo India scheme has twin objectives of mass participation and promotion of excellence in sports. A financial assistance of Rs 6,28,400, including Rs 1,20,000 as out-of-pocket allowances to the athlete per annum per athlete is being selected to Khelo India Academics for training of the selected Khelo India athletes. Under the Target Olympic Podium scheme, government provide assistance to India's top athletes in their preparations for Olympics and Paralympic Games. OPA of Rs 50,000 per month to the top score group athletes and Rs 25,000 a month to top development group athletes are given. Government provide assistance to allied sports persons preparing for major international events like Olympics, Asian Games, Commonwealth Games, etc. Under the scheme, identified promising teams are given all requisite facilities for their preparation, including a wholesome nutritious diet, food supplements, lodging, traveling facilities, state-of-art infrastructure, services of reputed Indian and foreign supporting staffs, scientific and medical supports, sports kits, etc., besides financial assistance for their training in abroad and participation in international competitions in India and in abroad. Equipment support is provided to the athletes in their respective sport disciplines under the scheme as per the proposals received. Also, specific equipments requested by the athletes are also given as recommended by NSFs and TOPS. Thank you.
Mr. Shiva Prasad.
Honorable Speaker, India has won many medals, including gold and silver in Olympics and Commonwealth Games. Will the Ministry of Sports and Youth Affairs will please to state that what are the steps taken by this government to formulate a policy to honor sportspersons, athletes winning medals in international events? Thank you.
Honorable Minister of Sports and Youth Affairs.
Honorable Speaker, in order to honor athletes winning medals in international events, government also confers the National Sports Awards every year under various categories like Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna Award, Arjuna Award, Dronacharya Award and Dhyan Chand Award. Thank you.
No more supplementary questions. Question number 103, Ms. Vijay Lakshmi.
Honorable Speaker, will the Minister of Civil Aviation be pleased to state the details of total number of airports in the country, percentage stake owned by Airports Authority of India in each state-wise, the details of profit made by each airport for the last 3 years, the details of number of airports privatized during the last 3 years. Thank you.
Honorable Minister of Civil Aviation.
Honorable Speaker, Airports Authority of India is currently managing 137 airports, including 34 international airports, 10 custom airports, 81 domestic airports, and 23 civil enclaves at defense airfields. The stakes of Airports Authority of India in these airports is enclosed at Annexure 1 and is laid on the table. The profit or loss made by these airports during the last 3 years, that is 2018-19, 2019-20 and 2020-21 is enclosed at Annexure 2 and is laid on the table. Airports Authority of India has recently awarded 6 airports, namely Ahmedabad in Gujarat, Jaipur in Rajasthan, Lucknow in Uttar Pradesh, Guwahati in Assam, Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala and Mangaluru in Karnataka. Thank you.
Any supplementary questions? Mr. Loknath.
Honorable Speaker, does the government intends to privatize 30 to 35 airports in next 5 years? If so, details thereof and which airports have been chosen for privatization? Thank you.
Honorable Minister of Civil Aviation.
Honorable Speaker, the government has planned to privatize 25 airports between 2022 to 2025. The board has approved to privatize 13 airports through clubbing model for the purpose of joint development. It has been decided to join small airports with the bigger ones, namely Varanasi with Gaya, Amritsar with Kangra, Bhubaneswar with Tirupati, Raipur with Aurangabad, Indore with Jabalpur and Trichy with Hubli for operations, management and development under public-private partnership for a period of 50 years. The criteria for selection of airports include quantitative criteria such as revenue aspects, that is total terminal area, growth rate in revenue and occupancy rate retail area. Profitability aspects, that is total revenue, total operating cost, the number of passengers carried by the airline and terminal area. Qualitative criteria such as growth potential, that is capacity utilization, expansion possibility and future development plan. Location and economic attractiveness, that is net state domestic product, urban population and annual exponential growth rate. Thank you.
Ms. Sinchana KS.
Honorable Speaker, the government has planned to privatize total of 25 airports between 2022 to 25 under National Monetization Pipeline Scheme. So, will the Minister of Civil Aviation state the need to privatize airports. Thank you.
Honorable Minister of Civil Aviation.
Honorable Speaker, as far as airports are concerned, some of the benefits of privatization include greater efficiency, improved facilitation, and increased capital investment. It reduces the need of public sector investment and provides access to commercial sector. It also allows the airports to diversify services without the fear of government control and interference. Thank you.
No more supplementary questions. Question number 104, Ms. Purvanshi.
माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदया, क्या कृषि एवं किसान कल्याण मंत्री मुझे यह बताने की कृपा कर सकते हैं कि क्या सरकार इस विचार से सहमत है कि डिजिटल प्रौद्योगिकी हमारी कृषि के आधुनिकीकरण में परिवर्तनकारी भूमिका निभा सकती है? यदि हाँ, तो देश में डिजिटल कृषि को बढ़ावा देने के लिए सरकार द्वारा प्रस्तावित पहलों का ब्यौरा क्या है? यदि नहीं, तो इसके क्या कारण हैं? धन्यवाद।
Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare.
माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदया, किसानों की आय दोगुनी करने संबंधी समिति ने अपनी रिपोर्ट में डिजिटल प्रौद्योगिकी की भूमिका की सराहना की है, जो ग्रामीण भारत को अपनी कृषि गतिविधियां आधुनिक बनाने और व्यवस्थित करने में परिवर्तनकारी भूमिका निभा सकती है। डिजिटल प्रौद्योगिकी का कृषि मूल्य प्रणाली में अधिक से अधिक उपयोग हो रहा है और किसान तेजी से अधिक जानकारी प्राप्त कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि उन्हें प्रौद्योगिकी और सूचना तक आसान पहुंच प्रदान करने के लिए विभिन्न पहल की जा रही हैं। सरकार ने देश में डिजिटल कृषि को बढ़ावा देने के लिए विभिन्न पहल की हैं। सरकार ने भारत डिजिटल इकोसिस्टम ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर फ्रेमवर्क की मूल अवधारणा को अंतिम रूप दे दिया है, जो कि किसानों के समेकित डेटाबेस के लिए ढांचा निर्धारित करेगा। कृषि यंत्रीकरण उप मिशन अप्रैल 2014 से कार्यान्वित किया जा रहा है। राष्ट्रीय बागवानी मिशन, यह मिशन बागवानी क्षेत्र के समग्र विकास को बढ़ावा देता है। राष्ट्रीय मृदा स्वास्थ्य और उर्वरता परियोजना, भारतीय कृषि अनुसंधान परिषद ने भी राज्य कृषि विश्वविद्यालयों और कृषि विज्ञान केंद्रों द्वारा विकसित 100 से अधिक मोबाइल ऐप संकलित किए हैं और अपनी वेबसाइट पर अपलोड किए हैं। सरकार पंजीकृत किसानों को SMS के माध्यम से विभिन्न फसल संबंधित मामलों पर परामर्श सेवाएं प्रदान कर रही है। धन्यवाद।
Any supplementary questions?
माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदया जी, क्या कृषि एवं किसान कल्याण मंत्री मुझे यह बताने की कृपया कर सकते हैं कि किसानों की आय दोगुना करने के साथ साथ उन्हें आवश्यक सुविधाएं एवं सुरक्षा प्रदान करने के लिए सरकार द्वारा क्या क्या आवश्यक कार्य किए जा रहे हैं? धन्यवाद।
Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare.
माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदया, सरकार लागत में कमी, फसल उत्पादन में वृद्धि, लाभकारी प्रतिफल और आय समर्थन हेतु आदानों के उपयोग को आधुनिक और तर्कसंगत बनाकर किसानों के कल्याण हेतु ऐसे कई विकासात्मक कार्यक्रमों और नीतियों को कार्यान्वित करती है, जो कि किसानों की आय बढ़ाने में प्रत्यक्ष या अप्रत्यक्ष रूप से सक्षम है, जैसे प्रधानमंत्री किसान सम्मान निधि, प्रधानमंत्री किसान मानधन योजना, प्रधानमंत्री फसल बीमा योजना, प्रधानमंत्री अन्नदाता आय संरक्षण अभियान। धन्यवाद।
Mr. Arjun.
Honorable Speaker, will the Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare be pleased to state the details of the changes that have taken place in the lives of farmers during the last 5 years? Thank you.
Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare.
माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदया, सांख्यिकी और कार्यक्रम कार्यान्वयन मंत्रालय ने देश के ग्रामीण क्षेत्रों में कृषि वर्ष जुलाई 2012 जून 2013 के संदर्भ में NSS के 70वें दौर के दौरान और कृषि वर्ष जुलाई 2018 जून 2019 के संदर्भ में NSS के 77वें दौर के दौरान कृषि परिवारों की स्थिति आकलन सर्वेक्षण किया था। इन सर्वेक्षणों से प्रति कृषि परिवार की अनुमानित औसत आय की गणना क्रमशः 6,426 रुपये और 10,218 रुपये की गई है। आज़ादी के अमृत महोत्सव के हिस्से के रूप में भारतीय कृषि अनुसंधान परिषद ने एक पुस्तक जारी की है जिसमें ऐसे असंख्य सफल किसानों में से 75,000 किसानों की सफलता की कहानी संकलित है जिनकी आय में 2 गुना से भी अधिक की वृद्धि हुई है। धन्यवाद।
No more supplementary questions. Breach of privilege, Mr. Preetham.
Honorable Speaker, Madam, a serious breach of privilege has been committed by some members using their mobile phones to record the proceedings of the House. This conduct is against the parliamentary etiquettes. I had given the notice of my privilege motion against the members mentioned, and also I would like to know the status of my privilege motion. Thank you.
Yes, sir. The chair has received the notice for privilege motion. It is under the consideration of the chair and the chair will get back to you.
Now, papers to be laid on the table. Honorable Minister of Atomic Energy, Mr. Guru Prasad.
Honorable Chair, I beg to lay on the table a copy of Nuclear Power Corporation of India Limited for the year 2021-22, along with the audited accounts and the comment of the Comptroller and the Auditor General thereon. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, I beg to lay on the table a copy of the review by the government for the working of the Railway Land Department Authority for the year 2021-22. Thank you.
Honorable members, I have to make an important announcement on my own behalf and on the behalf of honorable members of the House. I have great pleasure in extending our warm and heartily welcome to the honorable members of the Sri Lankan delegation who are on a visit to our country India as our honored guest. It is very high power delegation, consists of Ms. Dikshita Pereira, Ms. Monisha Sherwani, and Mr. Ullas Hasranga. The delegation arrived on 14 September 2022. They are now seated in a special box. We wish them very happy and comfortable stay in our country. Now, message from the upper chamber of the Youth Parliament.
Respected Speaker, sir, I have to report the following message received from the upper chamber of the Youth Parliament. In accordance with the provision of rule of procedure and conduct of business in the upper chamber of the Youth Parliament, I am directed to enclose the copy of Population Control Bill 2022 on a sitting held on 30th August 2022.
Secretary General to lay copy of the bill.
Sir, I lay on the table of the House the Population Control Bill 2022 as passed by the upper chamber on 30th August 2022.
Now, the House will take up the calling attention motion. Ms. Divya Shri, Ms. Minchana, Mr. Kishan S. Gowda and Ms. Purvanshi to call the attention of the Finance Minister. Ms. Divya Shri, please.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to call the attention of the Finance Minister to serious problem our country is facing today. That is inflation. The Indian economy is gripped by unprecedented inflation. According to the latest data, the annual inflation rate in India has increased to 7% in August 2022, the highest since October 2020. The rising food and fuel prices have made the situation worse. The prices are rising and the real income is shrinking and people are facing issues, but the government doesn't care about it.
Honorable Finance Minister.
Honorable Chair, the government is fully aware of the situation. Nobody is in denial about the price rise. India has adopted a targeted approach to tackle inflation. When compared to prevailing peer group nations and many developed countries, India's condition is definitely better. Many global factors have impacted our economy. These are realities. Thank you.
Miss Minchana.
Honorable Speaker, the policies of this government have affected near 25 crore households very badly and widened the gap between rich and the poor. The 5 pillars of economy, savings, investment, production, consumption and employment have been blown away due to the wrong policies of this government. According to the recent data, as many as 83 million people are under poverty line. Moreover, 77% of country's wealth is in the hand of 1% of population. The wealth of 92 richest persons in India put together is that equal to that of 55 crore Indians. Thank you.
Mr. Kishan S. Gowda.
Honorable Speaker, the country is facing the highest inflation rate for the past 2 years. The rates of consumer food items is skyrocketing. GST on daily use things like milk, rice, etc. has been increased. The prices of fruits and vegetables have shot up. The prices of wheat and rice has risen so high that the families are forced to cut back on an essential part of their diet. Even the prices of edible oils have seen an unprecedented rise. The government has balanced its own budget, but the common people, is shattered completely. Every household is in tears. It is the Indian kitchen that has been greatly affected by this inflation. Thank you.
Miss Purvanshi.
माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदया, आज मैं आप सभी को बढ़ते हुए पेट्रोल के दामों से अवगत कराना चाहती हूँ। आज के समय में मुंबई में 1 लीटर पेट्रोल की कीमत 105 रुपए है। 1 लीटर पेट्रोल की कीमत 105 रुपए, जो कि पिछले 2 वर्ष के अंतराल 70 रुपए में अधिक वृद्धि हुई है। इसके साथ ही सामान्य गैस के दाम 1000 के पार पहुंच चुके हैं। इन सब के अलावा उच्च स्तरीय ईंधन के आवागमन से महंगाई पर प्रचंड प्रभाव पड़ता है। मेरे अनुसार हम सभी को कच्चे अनाज व कच्ची सब्जियां खाना सीखना होगा, क्योंकि खाना बनाने का गैस लंबे समय तक नहीं चलता है। धन्यवाद।
Honorable Finance Minister.
Honorable Chair, there is indeed inflation in our country. But as I had said earlier, India's condition is definitely better than many other countries. Many global factors have impacted our economy. The Indian economy faces a twin challenge because of the steep price rise of crude oil and other commodities across the world. Moreover, after the Russia-Ukraine war, there has been a disruption in the global supply chain. And also, we have to remember that India is striving to emerge from the slump caused by coronavirus pandemic. The Russia-Ukraine war has hit edible oil supplies, leading to increase in its prices. The prices of fruits and vegetables have increased due to the soaring temperature. My government has taken a series of steps to cool the price rise and for benefit of the common people. The government has reduced taxes. Taking a cue from a center, some states have announced reduction in taxes. The government has permitted import of edible oils and some key raw materials. Under a special scheme, the government has provided a subsidy for domestic gas cylinders, which would benefit 9 crores of common people. The government has banned export of food grains in order to ease inflation. The government has also contained the prices of onion, potato and tomato. With these steps, India expects to be one of the fastest growing economies of the world. Thank you.
Now, the legislative business will be taken up. Honorable Minister of Law to introduce the bill.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move for the leave of the House to introduce the bill further to amend the Government of India Act 1972 to bring the NVS employees under the Government of India pension scheme. Thank you.
Now, the question is that leave be granted to the Minister of Law to introduce the bill further to amend Government of India Act 1972 to bring NVS employees under Government of India Act pension. Those who are in favor of it, please say aye. Those who are against it, please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, and the ayes have it. The leave is granted.
Honorable Speaker, I introduce the bill further to amend the Government of India Act 1972 to bring the NVS employees under the Government of India pension scheme. Thank you.
Honorable Minister of Women, Child and Family Welfare.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move the Population Control Bill 2022 to be taken into consideration. Madam, the main features of the Population Control Bill are the following. Clause 1. Hereafter existing two-child policy of India will be replaced by one child per family policy. Clause 2. The citizen must obtain the birth certificate before the birth of their children. Clause 3. Special benefits will be provided to those couples who agree to have only one child. Clause 4. The people who violate the laws should pay 40% of their annual income to the government. Clause 5. If they are employed in the government, they will be terminated from service.
Maintain silence.
Clause 6. They will be debarred from contesting in elections, including local bodies. Clause 7. Sterilization will be mandatory for those couples who are having two children. Clause 8. Family planning will be mandatory and not voluntary. Of all the problems that our country faces today, the most important and the mother of all the problems is unabated population growth. India may be the first country to adopt family planning policy in the world, but all our efforts to control youth growth rate has been proved futile. So that's why at this juncture, I propose the enactment of a law that curtails the population growth. Overpopulation and population growth has implications on sociology, philosophy, economics, religion, etc. If growth continues at the present rate, within 35 years, we will double ourselves. That is, by 2050, we will be more than 200 crores. At that time, India will be housing the largest number of people in the world. Every year, we are adding one Australia with us, only its population without any of its resources. India, which has 1/3 of its population living below poverty line, 35 crores of people illiterate, millions homeless, acute shortage of water, inadequate food production, find it difficult to accommodate every 2 crores of people joining with us each year. Instead of pushing our country to economic and social crisis, it's better on our part to have some restriction in population growth. Speaker Madam, I am confident that all the members of the House, irrespective of their party affiliation, will welcome this bill wholeheartedly. With these words, I move that the Population Control Bill 2022 to be taken into consideration. Thank you.
Honorable Prime Minister.
Honorable Chair, I appreciate my colleague for bringing up the legislation on this vital issue. We know whatever achievements we have made during the last 75 years, everything being neutralized due to the unabated growth rate of population. India with a growth rate 0.8 is going to pose a great challenge to the existing resources. And in India, every arable land is brought under cultivation. Yet the food production is not able to feed all the Indians. And scarcity of water, a major problem in India. Nearly 50% of our Indians are not accessible to get safe drinking water. 50%. And when we provide employment to 5 million people, another 5 million will rise in next year. So we are not able to solve the unemployment. And our consumption of fossil fuels are highest in the world. And it has made great impact on the environment, and our using of fossil fuels contributes towards the rising of greenhouse gases, climate changes, etc. So I request all the House members to rise above the House and make this bill as a law. I hope by making this bill as a law, our India will get better development in future. Thank you.
Honorable Opposition Leader.
Speaker, talks on this topic are totally unnecessary. The right to live comfortably is an inalienable right to every human being. And by bringing this law, we would be doing total injustice to the entire human race. People are never a burden for a country. They are a boon with immense potential, which if channeled in right way, would produce its own fruit in due time. In my opinion, the only way to eradicate this problem is by providing education. Education is the greatest light which eradicates the darkness of ignorance. Educated people realize the ill effects of population and they know how to control it also. Now, how many laws have been formulated in this state since independence and how many of them have been abided by in the true sense? If we had followed this law sincerely, we would have been in an entirely different world by now. So, I believe that we are not going to improve the situation of our country only by formulating another law. Think a bit more creative. Think of eradicating illiteracy from a country where 30 crore of its people don't know how to read and write. Even China, which has made strict laws against population growth, has reversed its policy recently. The annual average population growth of China is declining now, and they fear that this will have profound impact on China's economy. This made China to abandon one-child policy in 2016 and introduce three-child policy backed by taxes and other incentives last year. Thank you.
Miss Dinapriya.
Honorable Speaker, I fully support the Population Control Bill 2022 proposed by the Minister. India has one of the fastest growth rates of population in the world. The ever-increasing population makes high pressure on our limited natural resources. For many Indians, life is a beginner struggle just to put together the base essential of their lives. The middle class people may struggle with scarcity, but the poorest section in the society will have to suffer the most. But still, there is intense competition for nation's limited natural resources. The resources are exploited to the maximum, but the exploitation of natural resources is threatening forests, natural resource, and general ecology. 70% of energy resources are needed to be imported. This is the major challenge in front of us. The future of India depends on our determination to take up this challenge. But the increasing high growth rates of population shows that we couldn't find a breakthrough. So, legislation is the last resort to prevent our country from total collapse. So, I strongly support the Population Control Bill 2022. Thank you.
Miss Chinmay.
Honorable Speaker, Madam, I strongly oppose Population Control Bill 2022 introduced by Honorable Minister of Women, Child and Family Welfare. Population is the asset of every nation. Every creature has right to live. Compared to the past, the birth rate is very low today. If the population is increasing, it's not due to huge birth rate, but due to decrease in death rate. Further, we must be thankful to the medical facilities. Technology will take care of all problems which is created due to increase in population. In future, we will be able to send future generation to live in space if you are not able to increase land under cultivation to ensure food security. It does not matter. Technology will help us to increase productivity of land. Thank you.
Miss Monisha.
Honorable Speaker, Honorable Minister of Women, Child and Family Welfare is worrying much about the shortage of food. I would like to ask whether she is aware of the high-yielding varieties of seeds and green revolution. If you want to control the population, it is better to educate the people. For example, in our country, the states with high literacy rate, the population is controlled. And in the states with low literacy rate, it is not. So, educated people will voluntarily adopt family planning. The moves to stop the birth of children through law is a crime against the God and the entire humankind. Thank you.
Miss Shivani.
Honorable Speaker, I fully support the bill moved by the Honorable Minister of Women, Child and Family Welfare. But I have an amendment to the first clause of this population control bill. Madam, our country has diverse section of people
and we fully accept the fundamental rights of every individual. In many societies, there is a custom that a male child performs many duties to their parents. So naturally, they may wish for a male child. If the first child of a couple is a female, then they can have one more child. It is very essential to make this amendment to protect the interest of many sections of our society. So, I humbly request the Honorable Minister of Women, Child and Family Welfare to consider this amendment.
Ms. Pannagashri.
Honorable Speaker, I strongly oppose the Population Control Bill 2022. Ma'am, human beings are the only creation of the Creator endowed with the power of thinking, observing, planning, executing and communicating. We have the power to conquer mountains, tame wild animals, develop technological skills and utilize every resource to our own satisfaction. Our Honorable Minister says that the citizen should obtain the birth certificate of a child even before its birth. How is this even possible? Another clause in the bill is that the government employees will be terminated if they had more than one child. Are we living under a dictatorship?
Silence, silence! Maintain the decorum of the house.
We are living in a democratic country. One of the major concerns in any discussion on earth is overpopulation. Madam, my humble view is that we should avoid such discussions. I am in the favor of population growth. Populous countries are the most developing countries in the world. If we curtail population growth strictly, it will affect the economic growth of the nation. Many countries have taken strict measures to control population growth. But due to these strict measures, the number of students are decreasing year by year. This will affect the youth of the country and this will damage the prosperity of the nation by bringing damage in the growth ladder. Thank you.
Ms. Kavya.
Honorable Speaker, population growth never retards a nation progress. We may utilize the excessive manpower. Capitalist countries like USA and UK had developed fear towards countries like India and China. Maximum population means more production, that is better progress. Man is born not for eating but for work and production. More and more people work together to give better progress. So, instead of controlling population, we can reap the benefits of demographic dividend. Thank you.
Honorable Minister of Women, Child and Family Welfare.
Honorable Speaker, I am grateful to all the members who have supported the bill. I am also grateful to those members who have given constructive criticism on it. With regard to the main suggestion, I would like to say that technology cannot solve all the problems. Technology has certain limitations. Through technology, we cannot increase land, we cannot increase the natural resources. My friend in the opposition side has spoken philosophically that if there is no land in earth, we can send people to space. You can talk philosophically, but you should come down to the earth of reality. Regarding the amendment suggested by Ms. Shivani, I would like to say that both boy and girl are jewels. In this modern era, we should get rid of superstitious beliefs and age-old customs. We cannot discriminate the girl child, so it's not necessary to exempt the couples from having a first child, a girl child. We have to sacrifice some of our comforts, beliefs, practices for the greater interest of the nation. We should save our country from total collapse. I hope I've answered most of the questions raised by the members. I once again thank for your support and seek cooperation in implementing this bill. I request the House to pass the bill. Thank you.
The question is, Clause 1 to 4 stands part of the bill. There is an amendment in Clause 1 by Ms. Shivani. Are you moving it?
No, madam. In view of the reply given by the minister, I am not pressing any amendment.
The question is, Clause 1 to 4 stands part of the bill. Those who are in favor of it, please say aye. Aye. Those who are against it, please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, and the ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Clause 1 to 4 stands part of the bill. The question is, Clause 1, the title, stands part of the bill. Those who are in favor of it, please say aye. Aye. Those who are against it, please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, and the ayes have it. The motion is adopted. The Clause 1 title stands part of the bill. Now, the question is, Clause 5 to 8 stands part of the bill. Those who are in favor of it, please say aye. Aye. Those who are against it, please say no. I think the ayes have it, the ayes have it, and the ayes have it. The motion is adopted. Clause 5 to 8 stands part of the bill. Minister of Women, Child and Family Welfare.
Madam, I move the bill be passed.
Motion is moved that the bill is passed. The House is adjourned to meet at 11 a.m. tomorrow.